Well, I guess I'm happy for our guys, happy for our fans. I know it's been a miserable stretch here, but the one thing I guess I'm feeling good and proud about is, in general, we have practiced pretty good. We've had more meetings. We kept grinding it. We kept working at it. And I told you in those press conferences that they didn't kind of quit or didn't, not quit practicing well. And last night at practice, and then when we got here, we had a little shoot around. We got tested late. Joshua Langford, I thought, as good as Aaron played, I thought Josh set the tempo. We talked about being as connected as we can be, and we had to be better defensively. And we had to give some help on people. But I thought it was really good. You can see why we missed Gabe Brown. This is the first game he looked anywhat like he was looking earlier. And I thought Rocket Watts played very well. That was really encouraging. And yet, we struggled at the 4 with Joey it seemed like Malik, there were just times where they just maybe weren't quite with it. But by committee, Marty gave us something. Joey did give us something. He scored 3 points, just didn't shoot it as well. Marcus Bingham gave us something. So we got a lot out of a lot of people in small ways, but I think the best thing was it was a great team win, and I thought Aaron was unbelievable. If Aaron and Josh play like that, we can get Joey back making shots, then we become a real good team. Because Rocket, I thought, ran our team. We had, 10 turnovers or 8 turnovers the first 7 minutes of the game, 2 the rest. That's where we're down 11, came back, and only 4 the second half, and that makes a difference for us.
We'll start with questions. First one coming from Chris Solari.
Hey, Tom, somewhere around that 9-10 minute mark when you found that lineup with Rocket and Josh and Aaron and looked like Gabe was at the 3 and Aaron at the 4, and Kithier with big minutes too. I guess, was that something that you just kind of stumbled onto because of some of those early struggles at the 4, or is that something that you like to see maybe more of?
Well, we talked about it some. Some goes on lineups, when Hunter came in the game, that possessed the problem for us defensively because he's such a good shooter. And that also at 6'7" gives us a chance to maybe go a little smaller. And, I thought I liked their team. I told Archie after they didn't play as well. I mean, those 2 guys inside, Trace Jackson, we recruited him hard. I mean, he is a superstar. I mean, he made plays, he made spin plays. He just looked good to me. I mean, I think he's gotten better every year, but right now he's a lot of big guys in this league get credit. I think Trace, and love his family and everything. I think Trace has been really, really good in watching film. Thompson hasn't been as good, but he's a blue collar guy, and he tore us up a little bit in there. And so Aaron, took the challenge. Josh, I thought, helped a lot. Rocket kept his man in front of him. All those things made a difference. We still gave up a lot of points in the paint, but at the same time, we scored more points in the paint than they did.
In particular with Rocket, when you're able to balance him bringing the ball up with Aaron a couple times and Josh a lot, how much does that change maybe the dynamic of the offense to have 3 guys that can run the show up there?
Well, a lot. I mean, it really does. And, we have experimented with that. It's a shame that I'm still tinkering, but at the same time, I tried to tell you, you tinker because sometimes you don't do as good a job. Sometimes players don't do as good a job. And everybody kind of hung in there with us. We did go with different lineups. Rocket had a great couple days of practice. I mean, if you talk to him, it's, he really had 2 days ago, he was unbelievable in practice. And in fact, it was Dwayne Stevens that said, that's the guy I thought we were getting. And, it's been hard on him, but he's settled down. He's kind of learned how to play the position a little bit more. And that's encouraging because defensively, I didn't think he's been as good this year as he was last year. Tonight, I thought he was a lot better defensively also.
Next question, we'll go to Lindsey Huddleston.
Hey, Tom, a quick two-parter. Was today's win an example of all the things you've been explaining to us in the press conference finally coming together and catching up? And can you educate us too on the towel that you had on?
Yeah, my towel is a tribute from the NABC to John Thompson, um, who actually was a good friend of mine. I mean, I wouldn't say great, but good. Did a lot of our NCAA games, and he was always, he'd call me once in a while. I love the way his teams played with the toughness, so we had something in common. Size wasn't one thing we had in common, but we had some other things in common, and so that was the tribute to John and his son. And I'd say that for me, it's so hard. Every time I talk to you guys, I feel like I'm making excuses, and that bothers me as much as anything. And some of you guys that know me really well, I don't think I make them. If I do, post me up on it. But it's been a tough go, and just getting all those guys back together has been tough. And you miss a guy like Gabe. I mean, if Gabe doesn't hit 4 for 8 from the 3, it opened up those wings so much. Then all of a sudden in the middle, we started slipping guys and getting guys layups and dunks. It just changes the whole dynamics of everything. And Aaron, got to give him a lot of credit. He took over. And like I said, Josh had 6 rebounds. He was the best leader. He was great in the huddles. He suggested plays. Josh's 5 for 6 will go unnoticed in some ways because of, 5 for 6 isn't the greatest thing. I don't think we win the game at all without Josh Langford and all the little things he did. And the 2 things we went into the game with, little things matter, and let's stay more connected. And I thought we did a good job of both of them.
All right, thank you.
I think Matt might have frozen, so, and I can't access the chat, so could someone jump in on a question here?
Yeah, I think it was me. Hi, Tom. I want to talk a little bit about Thomas Kithier, what you thought from him. He kind of seems a little bit, he did a pretty good job on Jackson Davis. It looked like a little bit aggressive. Was that something you expected from him, and how do you kind of assess his performance?
Thomas is our best guy at forcing guys out. Markey's lack of strength hurt. And, Julius, he's got the strength, but maybe not the experience. And I think he found out that starting, he got tired quickly, like Markey did last year. And but I thought in general, Thomas Kithier did a great job. In the 9-10 minutes he played, he really did do some good things. He missed that layup, or otherwise it would have been even better. But you're right, he did a decent job on Trace, and Trace is a load, man. He's a good player. When they put all those shooters, there's times they got 3 and 4 shooters in the game. When they put Hunter at the 4, they can go with 4 shooters in there. Not easy to cover, but I didn't think we did a great job on him. I thought he was hard to cover, but I thought Thomas might have done the best job. Monty did a pretty good job on him too.
Next question will go to Sarah Tidwell.
Hey, Tom. So after starting out the game kind of slow, what was said in, timeout huddles or at halftime that changed that dynamic and ultimately led to the victory? What was that motivation behind it? And do you think having fans here helps at all?
Well, it definitely would help if more of them were our fans. It would have helped if, there just weren't that many fans in there. So I don't know if it helped. I think it would really help. And I'm hoping our place lets parents in this week. I mean, we've done 2 weeks, and I really think these kids deserve to have their parents at the games, and I don't see any problem with that. So hopefully the powers of be will give us that opportunity. I think that would make a difference for the kids. I know Aaron Henry's dad was here, and that meant the world to him. But the motivation, yeah, don't turn the frickin' ball over. We had 8 of them in about 7 minutes, and that was the difference of the game. But I did say it very politely in the huddle and very matter-of-factly.
Next question will go to Kyle Austin.
Seemed like it'd been a little while since you guys felt like they did there in that stretch in the second half, just kind of with that joy. How do you kind of build off of that and going forward here into a pretty tough stretch?
Yeah, we're not stupid. We dug ourselves a hole of all holes, and And I don't think we just dug it. I think some of it was given to us, some of it was situations, and some of it was us. And I'm proud of a team that could go on the road against a team that was red hot. Their shooters were red hot. They were shooting in the last 5 games 60, 50, and 45 from the 3. And we did a pretty good job on them. I'm just proud that nobody, gave in. I think a lot of people out there, just by your questions, were questioning whether they're quitting on anybody. And that's never going to happen here. And it didn't happen here. And one game doesn't make it all better. It's just that all the things I told you, you could see them, and turning the ball over is one. I mean, we were ridiculous turnovers that first 4 minutes, and give them some credit, but give us a lot of blame. And then when we settled down and we started executing some things, we really dummied up some stuff, meaning we shrunk our playbook. And I thought we did a good job. We rotated our bigs. We don't have as many guards. We did the job we could do with them, but things don't get any easier next week with 2 ranked teams on Tuesday and Thursday. But a lot more exciting to go into those with a win under your belt, where you played good too. I mean, I bet you we played 30 minutes of really good basketball, and that'll hopefully help motivate us and give us a little boost going into this wicked stretch we got.
We have 3 final questions, starting with Rico Cooney.
First of all, Tom, I'm not buying you saying anything matter-of-factly in a huddle, but that's for.
You've been surprised, Rico. It's a pandemic year now. It's please would you do this and thank you for doing that. And there were a couple of we do it again. I'm gonna, get after somebody. But thank you.
Talk a little bit about, I guess, Aaron. He's taken a lot of body blows from outside, criticism about, his play, his leadership. And for him to come into this situation, in his home state and perform like he did, just talk a little bit about, I guess, the Aaron Henry you saw today out there.
On a team that has struggled with different personnel at different positions, with our point guard really struggling at times, I thought he's had a pretty good year, averaging 15, 16 points. I would agree. I've talked to him a lot about his leadership. I mean, it's not an area that's just easy for him. And so I thought Foster Lawyer on the bench did a phenomenal job. That kid, I got to sit him right next to me. And Josh Langford was great. I took some of the heat off Aaron. Aaron, wanted the ball. He got 17 shots up, but I thought he made some great passes. He was unselfish. He made good decisions. So criticism, I mean, hey, people are asking me if the game passed me by, one average year in 23 years. I mean, that's the nature of the beast of these jobs and of these playing at this level. I understand it. But Aaron Henry, he does have to do more, but he is only a junior. He was no McDonald's All-American coming in. It's been grow and get better and kind of live through the process, which is sort of illegal anymore, but he's done a good job. And, I think of all the times, look at how I got killed for how I handle Aaron. Aaron is fine. I'm fine. He's getting better. For one day we got better. We'll see if we can continue that.
Quick follow-up, body language on Aaron looked different today.
There is, if you were here, I'd kiss you. Body language is my favorite thing, because I think you can read body language, again, the mental aspect of things, and I thought Josh told Aaron that yesterday in practice, and I always say the hardest thing to do for any person, you guys, me, them, is to self-evaluate. And that's where you need players telling players about that. And I thought Josh did that, and that changed a lot of things for us. So Aaron's body language was better, and Rockets was better, and Aaron and Josh deserve some credit for that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, we'll go to Graham Couch and then wrap with Matt Charbonneau.
Tom, you mentioned Rocket there, and it looked like he was kind of as calm, as a calming presence as he's been. Maybe fit is the right word, as well as he has in a while. Didn't look to be forcing things, and obviously got a lot of run because of the injury to Foster and AJ's struggles. And I'm just wondering what you saw from him and what that's telling to you about how to approach him the rest of the way.
Well, again, I think Josh is going to be speaking here. It'd be a great question for him, but he's done a great job of taking him under his wing. He shoots with him every day. And I think Rocket, 2 days ago, he had the best practice I've seen him have ever, high school, college, ever seen him. And he just kind of let the game come to him and didn't force things. And I think the guys did a good job with him, especially Josh and Aaron a little bit, but they did a good job with him. And but Rocket's body language was different. You got to realize you can make a mistake. All you got to do is admit you make the mistake, and then you move on. If you don't, that's when the issues come. So I thought Rocket, played as good as he's played, and yet you look at his stats and they weren't off the charts. But point guards, I look at the kid from Ohio State who's been so good. Not great stats, just winning. Learn how to win. He defended definitely better, and I think a lot of that had to do with we're getting now to the point where Joshua is being a player coach team. He's taken over some things, even calling some plays in the huddles, and I think you look at what he went through for 2 years, and we said it would be the middle of January before he came back, in my mind. And then he comes middle of January and gets COVID. And, he's been really solid, really good. And we just got to get him a few more shots. And but he made some big time plays. Lettuce and rebounding is big, especially for a guard.
We'll wrap with Matt.
Tom, I wanted to squeeze this in, but when you got ran over on the sideline early in the game, are you thinking this is just the latest thing we have to go through this? Of course, it's going to happen this year. Something like
No,
that.
but I was ticked off at the official as usual. Didn't even call a charge. I was sitting there. I didn't move. I didn't do anything. And another blind mice could not call a charge. It was unbelievable, And I said, "What do you call?" And I said, "That doesn't surprise me." So, but it was nothing, to be very honest with you. It was nothing.
And I asked Aaron real quick, is the stretch, these last 2 weeks are going to be rough with the schedule. But as part of it, almost like, at this point, practice is important, but if you could somehow get on a roll, it almost maybe helps you just to keep playing and see how long you can run on it.
Yeah, coaches hate one-day preps, players love them, and we got a bunch of them coming up. But I think you're right. I think the hardest thing for me is it's a bizarre year when we're going to play like Indiana. We hadn't played them yet at the end of the year. Michigan, we haven't played them yet at the end of the year. Illinois, we haven't played. Maryland, we haven't played. A lot of first time. If it was the second time you played them, it makes the prep easier. But you know what? That's just another excuse. I mean, we're all going to go through something. I know this. It's going to be a lot easier to get up for Illinois after a win when you played well and the whole team, both in practice and games, were responsible than it would have been with a loss. So I'm proud of this team because we hung in there. Some teams would have quit. They never did. I told you that the whole time. But we got a long way to go yet. But we're still breathing. We're still looking forward to Tuesday night now. That's all we're looking forward to.